Welcome to the Moon Magic Tarot channel. Thank you so much for joining me. These are your weekly readings, your weekly guidance from your spirit team. I post these every single Sunday without fail, but they are timeless readings. You can check in with these at any time that you are needing guidance right here, right now, and looking at the week ahead, the next 7 days at any time. So I will put them into my timeless readings playlist. It's a resource. It's full of readings that answer specific questions as well as weekly guidance. So you'll always be able to find a resource of readings as and when you need them. Now we are going to be drawing 3 cards. I can see 1 and 2 coming through already. And I see 3 just here. Okay, and we will also be drawing runes and a charm as well, just to help to guide you in. Okay, so reading number 1, Firefly is your card. Have a really good look at this. Reading number 2, Black Egg. Wow. And reading number 3, we have Horse, Energy of Horse for reading number 3. Okay, so let's place those there. We will draw a rune and a charm as well for those of you that would like that extra guidance. If you already know which reading or readings you want to tune in with, sometimes it's more than one, you can fast forward. I'll put the timestamps in the information box and the comments for phone users as well. Let's draw runes. Okay, reading 1. You have the rune of possessions, of nourishment. Reading number 2, you have the rune of partnership. And reading number 3, you have the rune of flow. Let's look at the charms. Reading 1, you have the cat. Reading number 2, you have the lucky horseshoe. And reading number 3, you have the tree of life. Okay. So Super Souls, I'll leave the video running just for a few moments for any of you that need a little bit longer just to really check out each of these, and you can always press the pause button as well if you need a little bit longer. Super Souls, I will see you in the readings. Welcome, reading number 1. You have been guided into this reading by the card of Firefly, the cat, and the rune of possessions, nourishment. Now this is ultimately a rune of very good fortune. You know, ambition satisfied, unexpected surprises, gains, rewards. Now the Firefly energy is like a burst of something, and the cat is very interesting because the cat for me always speaks of some aspect of fate, destiny, something happening that gives you either a sign or a renewed boost of life, like cats have 9 lives. I feel like this is a week when something of, there'll either be a burst of energy for you, renewed energy, or an idea will come to you. We need to draw more cards before we really dive into the messages that are coming through for you right now and in this coming week for you. But reading number 1, it feels as though there is a something, a surge of something, a moment of something, that light bulb, wow, that's it. Something coming through to you in some way, shape or form. I think it will lead to more, but the energy that comes with it will be a surge that then needs to be invested into a different kind of progress. But there's like that moment when very, very high level of energy that's quite intense. None of us can ever sustain that level of energy ongoing, but something can come, or we find the resources to do something in the moment. Let's draw cards and see what else we are shown for you, reading number 1, right here and right now, and for the coming week. I'm seeing this card and also this one. Ooh. I think we'll take that one too. And there's yours. Okay. We will draw from, I'm going to draw from a tarot pack as well, straight away. 1, 2 and 3. 4, 5, and this one here, 6. Yes. Okay, super good. I'm just going to draw one more oracle card as well. There's your card. In fact, there are 2 here for you. Okay, right. Let us dive in straight away and look at all of these cards and see what we are being shown for the coming week for you. So, you have dignified strength. You have 8th house, mystery. Ascendant, entrance. This makes complete sense here in terms of the energy coming through in the message with these cards here. Let's place them up here so we can see exactly what you have shown here. Ascendant, entrance, and Sagittarius, expand. Wow. Okay, reading number 1. I really do feel something is coming to you this week. It's an opening, an entrance, an opportunity, an idea, whatever it is for you in the uniqueness. It's got spark, it's got energy, and it opens up. You know, I said with this rune, possessions, nourishment, ambitions fulfilled. Unexpected surprises, rewards, gains. I feel like this week there is a something that comes to you, and it could literally be a spark of an idea. It's going to lead you somewhere. It's going to open up a pathway that might feel a little bit unknown, but it's giving you an opportunity. Something is coming into your world this week. Some of you may be aware of it already because it's a right here, right now situation, as well as the next 7 days. But the energy of something, it's a doorway or a window of opportunity being opened for you. It has the potential to be very transformational, to take you into a new realm of being. Let's look and see what else we have. Okay, again, we have another card of mystery. Look at this, Black Moon Lilith. Another card of mystery, and 9th house, faith. We have Dry Desert, and we have Golden Palace. Very interesting cards. Very, very interesting cards. Okay. Okay, let's look at these and then we will look at our tarot cards as well. Some aspect of your world, reading number 1, has not been moving forwards as you would like it to be. It may have just been almost what felt like I want to say a steady dryness, but something just not quite happening. You may even have felt as though you're on the brink of something, or you've got an idea and it just hasn't quite moved forwards, or the opportunity hasn't arisen for you. You just haven't met the right person, or you know how sometimes it just feels like something's hovering around you. You're on that brink and you haven't been able to somehow quite see what you need to do to move it forwards. What your spirit team are saying to you is, look, this week, and I think it's quite likely to come in an unexpected form, something will come through for you this week that will actually create the opening or give you the idea or the little bit of insight you needed to be able to move something forwards, to know, it's like to know what the next step is. What is kind of interesting is 2 houses, Black Moon, Lilith, mystery, 8th house, mystery. It's very transformational. What this is sort of saying to me is that it may be that there's something that comes to you, you may not realise that it directly connects to a dream, a vision, a desire. It may even seem as though, like it could literally be a kind of a mystery to you. It may be that something happens, or a window is opening for you, and what I want to say is it may actually feel as though it's disconnected from your dreams. You know, almost as though it's a bit like if you, let's say you had an appointment to meet someone who you hoped would be really significant in your life, and somehow it gets cancelled or it gets rearranged, or you arrive at the meeting and the person that you thought you were going to meet had to drop out for whatever reason, and you're meeting someone else, and you could sort of think, oh, that wasn't what I was building myself up for, that wasn't what I was expecting. But actually, the new thing is exactly what's needed to open something up, and then you suddenly have that conversation and you realise that a doorway is being opened for you, or something happens and you have to attend to something. You have to, literally attend to something, and you find the resources, the energy to do it, and then actually you suddenly realise that the very nature of doing it opened a doorway that is leading you in a direction that it's like a different route, or an opening, an avenue. There is something coming to you that's going to become an opening of expansion. It's leading to ultimately some pretty big stuff here. Sagittarius, Golden Palace. I mean, wow. But because it's going to come in a form that might be unexpected, your team, your spirit team, are saying to you, hold faith. Don't find yourself, attitude is everything. If we think energy and attitude and perception, that's what I feel I want to voice here. Because there's this fate, destiny, there's a mystery about this. Firefly, something's illuminated. Yeah, what I kind of feel I want to voice here is it's that essence of, it is the essence of the unexpected. We can, attitude, perception, are everything. If something disrupts our plans, it's really, really human to feel kind of basically pissed off about it, really. I don't know how better to describe it. Frustrated, pissed off, disappointed, depending on what it is, but actually, if something doesn't work out or work through, you're being really affirmed here that the alternative that's offered is absolutely opening a window for you that's really going to take you. It's basically, it is an opening, it's an entrance here. So approach the disruption, the unexpected, with strength, dignity, and I want to say grace as well. Because something that hasn't moved forwards, or even it may just feel like, oh, just when I thought I was going to do this, it got blocked. Like, why is that? Why did that get blocked? I was on a roll. Actually, there's a different route to something, or an opening to something else. It may be related to what you thought, but ultimately this is leading you to a bigger dream. So something unexpected, this is what we are being guided to here. And look at this, our first card, 10 of Pentacles. We're really being shown here. Yeah, we're really being shown here that there is something happening this week for you. It may already have happened, and you may be struggling with your perspective about it. You may be feeling, well, that wasn't what I wanted, or that didn't pan out, or that didn't work through, or you may even already have that idea, that spark, and it could be the opposite side of that, where you're just thinking, wow, this is amazing, but do I go ahead with it because it's not what I thought I was going to do? This would mean a change in direction. And the affirmation is here, yes, that there is something very, very powerful taking place within a spark of something, so a surge of energy. 10 of Pentacles, it's leading you to some really quite big opportunities. 2 of Pentacles. Yes, it's something that, 10 of Pentacles and 2 of Pentacles sitting beneath. It's something that's going to enable you to balance life in some way. And it will be, again, it could be something that arrives that will open a doorway to a meeting or a connection with someone who will actually assist you. Now, it could be someone who could assist you financially, someone who could assist you through networking, someone who knows someone. But there's something helpful coming into your world. We have an affirmation of assistance, help, an opportunity to step out of your cave, to move forwards, to take an idea forwards, or to acknowledge and validate how good an idea is, that spark of information. Now, Page of Cups is our next card. Queen of Wands, Page of Swords, and Justice. Okay. Right, we have 2 pages here, so this is really important. We are really being shown here that the pages are an energy of new beginnings. They are an upsurgence. It's a doorway opening again. Something is going to be in its early stages. In the Page of Cups here, we see her holding, you know, like it's like what we see as an egg timer, you know, when you turn it upside down and the sand runs through. This is telling us that there is divine timing at work here. And this is what the cat is also showing us. There's that sense of fate and destiny around. Queen of Wands. This is seriously saying, you know, pick up and run with this. Do it with good grace. Page of Cups. Do this with love. If there's an interruption, or, as I said, something unexpected coming in, you're going to need to nourish the ground for your own deliverance. So something's coming in to steer you, to guide you. It's got that sense of fate and destiny about it. The timing is actually perfect. But the curious thing is, I sort of feel like the timing might not feel like it, just because I feel like there's something unexpected about this. It's like, gosh, I hadn't thought of going in that direction. Do I dare do it? Do I dare let go of that bit and move into this bit? Absolutely. Your team is saying, you know, rise into this, you know, take hold of this, because this is an opportunity for you to expand. Okay. Yeah, there's an opportunity, there's a real opportunity coming for you this week. And the pages are an indication of an entrance into something that's a new beginning. Sit with this. If you feel in any way like you're having, you know how we do, it's a human thing, isn't it? We have a wobble. We think, no, I didn't want this, that wasn't what I was expecting. And we kind of have that wobble, which is fair comment, because we're, you know, as human beings, that's how it is. Actually, get still and sit and kind of dream with this. Perception, attitude are everything. If something comes in, it's like when you get a contrasting experience. I'm not suggesting that this will be the case, actually, but as an example, a metaphor. It's like, you know, when something happens and we don't like it, or we meet someone who behaves in a way that we just don't like, we can really let it get under our skin, or we can kind of embrace it as a, right, so I'm not happy with this, therefore it helps me to define that I want the opposite, you know. So we then define something else. This is going to open something up that feels like a, yeah, it could flummox you. For some of you, I think literally you'll think, well, how did that happen? And that doesn't necessarily mean in a negative way. For some it could be an interruption. For others, I think there'll be a kind of synchronicity about it. It'll be, where did that come from? How did that happen? How did that fall into place? You know, or how did that window open? How did I end up meeting that person and having that conversation? And then that sort of, ooh, but dare I go there? That's the real flavour of this reading. In fact, I think in essence, that really feels very strongly right. It's like someone coming in. You could even almost be like, you know, like when you meet someone and you think, God, we're chalk and cheese. But you realise, wow, this could really happen. This connection could move something forwards. This connection could really help me to take something and run with it. I would never have thought that. But actually, there's something here that could really work. You know, there's something that could happen, could work together. There's an opportunity here. And a very lucrative one, I want to say. Really, really lucrative. So something of that ilk. Coming in and just sit with your perspectives and think, well, yeah, okay, this wasn't what I expected, but, you know, I'm just going to ground myself. I'm going to lean into the mystery of this. I'm going to have faith. I'm going to trust that actually my spirit team are walking with me. This is showing me, this is leading me from a place where something hasn't really been happening to a place where something is happening. Something is not only happening, but it's going to expand and it's going to lead to something of significance in your life, reading number 1. So that is the flavour of your week ahead. I'm going to draw some more runes, actually, and I'm also going to throw the astrology dice for you. You have Moon in Taurus. Really, really good indication of how to handle this energy. Let's put those dice there and we'll draw some runes, because, you know, the Moon in Taurus is sort of saying, look, receive this opportunity with steadiness. Ground yourself and own your position of choice and power through perspective. Whatever happens, you could just think, whoa, this is new, you know, or that's not the sort of thing that I expected. And then it's like, well, actually, why not? Why not? Why this might really work. This is definitely an opportunity. I'm going to look at this further. There's going to be some steady work to be done, some progress, some moving on. This is that burst of intense ideas, solutions, outcomes, the light bulb moment. There's something that happens that opens up a doorway. You're being advised by your team here. You'll then need to invest in this with steady progress. This is worthy of investment. Okay, 10 of Pentacles. We're seeing prosperity coming from this in whatever way, shape, you know, success and prosperity in whatever shape or form this comes. It is worthy of investment. Let's draw some more runes. Okay, we have the rune of fertility. We have the rune of Hagalaz, disruption. We have the rune of signs, signals, synchronicities. This feels so important. And we have the rune of joy. So first of all, fertility. I mean, this is a fruit-bearing rune. Fertilize the ground for your own deliverance. It speaks of completion of beginnings. So I feel in this instance, this rune is really speaking to you, reading number 1, of the value, the importance. This is what your spirit team are really pointing out here. The value and importance of recognizing that when something happens, even if it's disrupting, it's a sign. It's an opening, and we need to attend to it. We need to respond to it. You know, fertility, fertilize the ground for your own deliverance. Notice it, see things, see everything as an opportunity, see everything as a guidance, see everything as a signal, a sign, a synchronicity. You know, good, bad, indifferent. However you approach it, something is coming into your world. There will be an opening of some sort. I do think it may well be disrupting. And I also think it may shake your world up a little bit. I always think Hagalaz reminds me of Uranus as an energy, Uranus, the great awakener. He comes, energy of Uranus comes into our lives to kind of wake us up, shake us up and say, hang on a minute, let's attend to this. Let's do this differently. We can think about this, you know, from a higher minded position. We can have a completely alternative solution that's going to get us not just what we wanted, but even bigger and better. It's got that flavour. So be on the lookout here and be alert and aware of any spark of sign, signal, information that comes to you. I'm also really, something came through earlier and I need to voice it now because I'm getting such a confirmation. Something may come in threes. Sometimes people talk about this. There's quite a saying, certainly here in the UK, and it may be across the world, I do not know, but that things come in threes. We have 3 here showing us in the 10 of Pentacles, and these pentacles are in rows of 3s, although we have a 4 to be grounded. And what I was noticing in the cards, the 3 here, the 3 here, we then have a 33. Here we go. It's actually, the numbers are here again. We have a 33. We've got another 3 here. Just, there's a lot of 3s showing, another 3 here. Even though there are other numbers present, I feel like 3 is a very relevant number here for you. Things come in 3s. So if something happens, my lovely mum always used to say, if something, it's like when, if her washing machine broke down or something, it would be like, oh, well, that'll be the beginning. I mean, she used to say it with humour as well. It wasn't just an, oh, it would be like, you know, oh, well, that's gone. So there'll be 2 other electrical items that will go wrong now. And she very often was right, you know, then the iron would break down or something else, and then the toaster or the kettle. But she always used to say things come in 3s. But it's interesting because this is exactly what, let's use this as a symbolic example. If 3 electrical appliances went wrong in your world, and therefore you have to head down to the local store to buy some new ones, actually it's at that local store in the queue when you get talking to the person behind you, who you suddenly realise, you know, you would never have seen that coming, actually is exactly the person that you needed to meet in order to open a window of opportunity for you. It's exactly that kind of crazy set of scenarios where you think, how the hell did that happen? How did that go from, you know, the annoyance of, you know, the frustration of 3 things going wrong, has it resulted in this incredible meeting that I would never have seen coming. I mean, it's that kind of crazy, unexpected, out of, you know, out of our normal expectations in the scheme of things. That's the flavour of something coming to you this week, or something that happens that gives you the idea, the information, the piece of the missing link to something you were writing. It's that kind of flavour. So be alert, be on the lookout for unexpected signs, signals, synchronicities, things that allow you to be present to what's going on around you so that you see what you're being shown. It's leading to joy. This is fruit-bearing rune. I mean, this is fertility. Joy is literally clarity. It's a new dawn, out of darkness into light, joyously loving what you're doing. So there is your week's reading, your here and now reading, and the guidance from your spirit team. So they are very clear about wanting you to be alert and looking out for something in a very potentially unexpected way. Reading number 1, this has been a super fun reading. There's a lot of excitement around this. I feel like your spirit team are really loving kind of being able to say to you, be alert, be on the lookout. Something amazing is being offered to you this week, this opening. Be aware of it. Don't be afraid. Don't be ungrounded about it. Just step into the mystery. Sit there and think, wow, this is incredible. It's got that space of availability, but we do also have to move through our own perspectives of, gosh, I can't believe that 3 things have now broken down and now I've got to do this, or now I've got to do that, or I've got to go back to the garage because my car's playing up again. This is the 3rd time this week. Actually, there's purpose to it. Something is being orchestrated for you. So just keep your energy buoyant, your perspective open and available, because it's that sort of chance moment that brings you exactly the idea, the person, the connection, whatever it is for you in the uniqueness of your world. And I feel so excited for you. So Super Souls, be alert, be aware. This is your guidance for the here and now and the coming week, the next 7 days. Beautiful reading number 1, people. I post these readings every single Sunday, so if you'd like to get notification of any of my readings, the weekly ones on Sundays for weekly guidance, or indeed any of the other spontaneous readings that I do, if you subscribe and press the little bell icon, they should come into your stream. All of my timeless readings, because you can always connect to a reading like this at any time. I have a timeless readings playlist. I will put the link in the information box below for you. Those readings are there as a resource. If you ever find yourself struggling, or you've got a situation that you think, I really wish I could just ask this question, check out those readings, because a lot of them answer specific questions as well. That playlist is there as a resource for you to tune into whenever you need guidance or an answer. Super Souls, it's been an absolute privilege to read for you today. Thank you for joining me. Thank you so much to all of you who have been giving back through the super thanks, and also to those of you who are supporting all of the things that I do through Patreon ongoing. Wonderful Patreon people, thank you. I really do appreciate your ongoing support. If you're new to my channel, I do put a lot of free stuff into the world. So what I'll do is stick a load of all the relevant links in the information box below, so you can tap into any of the resources and the things that I do. If you scroll down, I'll put all the relevant links there for you. Just check it out if that's of interest to you. Super Souls, thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing, and just have an amazing present and optimistic, open-minded perspective this week, because there's something very mysterious and magical about the timings for you this week. Reading number 1. Welcome, reading number 2. So you have been guided into this reading by the card of Black Egg, the rune of partnership, and this beautiful horseshoe, which is very interesting. It's showing up with partnership, because the horseshoe for me always reminds me of confetti. It's a marriage. It's a connection. Always used to, a part of my childhood, I grew up in a village. I used to love the confetti outside the church. We don't necessarily use those sort of things all the time now, with thoughts about trees and paper, but I love the little horseshoes of good luck. There's good luck here. There's luck surrounding you. There's the energy of partnership. So this is a one-on-one connection with someone. The card of the Black Egg is actually about the truth. It's about authenticity, being yourself, having your voice, but in a totally true, no noise, no other agendas way, just really being 1000% you, present in the moment. So let's draw cards and see what else we are shown, because this reading is for weekly guidance. It's the here and now. What do your spirit team want you to know about right here and right now, and in the coming 7 days? I do feel it is that card. There we are. Oh, and then we have 3 from that pack. Okay. And I think I'm just going to draw tarot cards as well, and we'll just see what we are shown. Well, Super Souls, we are asking for reading number 2. What is happening? What do your spirit team want you to know right here and right now, and in the coming week? Let's look at your oracles first. One thing I will say is there's definitely the energy of partnership around you. My goodness me, complete. And look at this, 7th house relationship, Venus beloved. Wow. Okay, so we are in the realm of partnership. So let's just lay out your cards and see what we are shown. So first of all, you have the card of come together. Then you have metamorphosis. You have the card of rescue. You have Mercury in retrograde, reinvention. I'm going to place that down here, okay? We have 7th house relationship. We have Venus beloved. We have progressions journey. We have Phallus Athena think. Okay, right. We'll look at these in just a moment. We'll leave your tarot cards to one side just for now. Okay. I'm actually going to move these over. I'm going to draw some runes as well in just a moment. Now, reading number 2. Absolutely, the energy of partnership is around you. What we're being shown right here and right now, and in the next 7 days, the coming week, the energy around you, there is something within your connection to somebody else that needs to be reevaluated, reinvented, so to speak. It's almost as though they're metamorphosis, transformed, progressions, journey, moved forwards. It could be an attitude that you're holding. If you have been looking after someone, actively looking after somebody, you know, when maybe somebody has had a tough time and you've really, or a relationship has been, if we think about, I'm trying to think how best to word this. So, yeah, think and notice. We're seeing here Mercury retrograde, reinvention. That there's something that needs to be brought back into balance this week within your relationship. It's like saying the truth. For some of you, maybe you have been, it's not that the relationship is out of balance as such, although that may be the case for some of you, but basically, I think that in any relationship, within the space of giving and receiving, you could say give and take. Sometimes, let's say somebody's really poorly, so the other person has to do more than their fair share for a little while, because that's right. But at some point, as the person who was poorly gets better, it has to be brought back into balance again, or vice versa. You know, it's okay at any time for one person to be stepping up and doing a little bit more than the other person, because providing it rights itself and it comes back into balance. Or if one person is giving in one way, that the other person gives back in another way, so their contribution doesn't have to be the same. It reminds me of a couple that I know who honestly people would have thought they would be chalk and cheese. But because they're so truthful, black egg, the truth, they're so truthful with one another. I absolutely love, they've been together for years and years and years. They have such a successful, vibrant, happy marriage. And when they came together, it was really funny actually. He kind of actually said to her, look, the one thing I need to be really upfront with you about is that, you know, in previous partnerships, people have kind of accused me of being really anal. I'm ridiculously tidy. I'm just really a bit fanatical about it, but it's how I feel comfortable. And, you know, I don't expect you to be anal or be really, really over tidy, but I do need you to not criticize me for being that way. It's the one thing I don't mind doing all the housework, as long as you don't criticize me for it. And she said, well, do you know what? I'm a complete slob. I'm so glad you've talked about it. And in the past, partners have really judged me for being really untidy, but she said it's just me. I'm really haphazard. I'm not very organized. And so they kind of made this agreement from day one, because both of them had come out of relationships where they'd actually been given quite a hard time for not being sort of the way somebody expected them to be. They made this kind of agreement, right, you do all the tidying up, I'll be a complete slob, but I will actually contribute in this way. My contribution to be equal will be given in this manner and his that manner. And they made this, yeah, just a really open, honest agreement based on who they actually are. And this is truly one of the most successful relationships I've ever known. They never judge each other. In fact, far from it, there is an incredible appreciation. She's like, I can't believe how smoothly my life runs, because actually he does all this stuff at home for me. But actually, and he's like, I can't believe I go out and I do so much more. I'm so much, you know, because she brings so much creativity into the relationship, and I never feel criticized. I feel so appreciated. It's like they've created this incredible balance. There's an opportunity for something here, whatever this means for you in the unique circumstances of your world. What is being shown here by your spirit team for you right here and right now and in the coming week is an invitation to be really directly honest. Think about what you want to say. There's an opportunity to progress something. If it's a brand new relationship, then progress it, much as the example I've just given you, on the basis of real honesty. There's an opportunity if you're in an existing relationship, and this may well be for some of you, metamorphosis, reinvention, to reinvent, not for one of you to rescue the other, but for somebody to be open and honest and say, look, I'm not really going to be the looker after of you. You know, we need to be in a balanced situation. Whatever you need to attend to, think about it, because there is opportunity to address something here that can transform your relationship. We'll see what additional guidance we're given in these cards here, in your tarot cards. But truth is absolutely of the essence here. Something to be transformed within a relationship that brings it into harmony, balance, and everything here is beautifully positive. It's like luck is with you to, you know, if you've been fearful of having that conversation, can I dare mention that? You know, dare mention it this week. There's opportunity. So we have the Page of Cups. Again, the timing is right. This card came out in reading number 1 too. The timing is perfect to have this conversation. Something will probably happen that will open up that space of communication. And 5 of Swords. Yeah, I think you may have been worrying about this. See, this for me is like this chalk and cheese. You know, we look at these 2 birds, one black, one white, chalk and cheese. You may have been quite anxious about having this conversation. You may have been thinking to yourself, I really don't know how to talk about this. If I raise the issue, it might be really challenging. But actually, look what we have here. 3 of Pentacles. Wow, beautiful. 3 of Pentacles, 3 of Cups, and 9 of Pentacles. This is such a favourable outcome here, reading number 2. There's a celebration, a renewed energy. It's almost like renewing your vows, renewing your commitment, or indeed creating a commitment. It's like, oh, I could actually see a future with this person, because actually they can accept me as I am, and I will accept them as they are. You know, we can do this, we can work at this. There's been anxiety or fear about raising something. It's been hovering, sitting beneath the surface. Absolutely time to reinvent your perspective that this can't be discussed, because it most definitely can. That's what your team is saying to you. Look, luck is with you. Be 1000% yourself. Be honest. Have that conversation. Put those fears down. Chalk and cheese can bring about the most amazing balance of contribution if we are open and upfront and honest, and we do it in a way that, instead of judging somebody else for not being what we want, or, you know, or what we thought we wanted, or not being the same as us, we actually honour those differences. And in honouring those differences, we thrive, because we can find a mutuality of giving and receiving that absolutely validates and honours both parties' individuality and both parties' uniqueness. And everything here is favourable. 3 of Pentacles, 3 of Cups, 9 of Pentacles. It's a card of success. It's like, yes, you did it. Yes, you did it. You had that conversation. You overcame those fears. You had that conversation. And this is not going to be as difficult as you are really fearful that it could be. It's like it's as if there is that early fear. Oh gosh, I've been judged before, or maybe this, you know, maybe this won't be welcomed, or if I voice the fact that we're out of balance, or I've been giving too much and not receiving enough back, that it won't be well received. Everything here is saying that the energy around you right here, right now, and in, you know, over the next week within your world is primed for this possibility of transformation and, you know, of happening in such good way, of progressing within some aspect of relationship for you. Success, celebration, commitment. It's happening. 9 of Pentacles. This is, I'm just loving this because this is like you did it. I always feel the 9 here is like a card that's, it's what I would call really healthy self-satisfaction, when you stepped over your fears and doubts, and you did it and it works out and you think, oh wow, I did that. Wow, that was me. I did that. I made that conversation happen. I opened the conversation. I set aside some time and I asked this other person, can we talk about this? And they were like, yeah, for sure. And you were thinking they'll never say yes, and they were like, yeah, for sure. Let's you know, let's talk it through. You know, it's like there's going to be a willingness to receive your perspective, which is super lovely. And this is what your team are saying for this week, right here and right now. Reading number 2, I suspect whatever the relationship is, whether it's an intimate partner, whether it's a friend, one-on-one, a family member, a work colleague, a manager, whatever it is, you've been fearful that they won't want to hear you, and your team are saying, yes, they do want to hear you. Your perspective is so important and so valid, and this will progress. It's perfectly okay. Just think it through. Think about what is really important that you need to say. You know, reflect on this. Put it forwards in a positive way, okay? Put it forwards in a way that validates and honours differences rather than criticises them. And honestly, I think this is just, wow, this is going to happen. I'm going to draw some more runes for you. Reading number 2, and I'm going to throw the astrology dice as well. Oops, that one has shot out of our camera range. But you have Leo and you have Mars. I mean, this is gorgeous. Mars energy, go, 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 fiery, positive. Let's make it happen. Let's have that conversation. Let's do it with passion. Leo, celebration. Celebration of who you are. Celebration of what matters to you. You know what? I think the world of you, but actually something's out of balance. I think the world of you, but could we talk about something? You know, I'm concerned about something. Let's have that conversation, and then yay, let's go for it. I've been concerned about this too, or something's going to emerge. And it brings about a new beginning. The timing is really right. You know, we have this sort of egg timer here. The timing is perfect for this conversation. That it's really valuable, I think, when your spirit team are saying, you know, in the context of an individual, unique connection with someone, sometimes the timing is just so perfect to have that conversation. Because if we don't, it stacks up and we build up resentments, which is really unhelpful because the other person picks up on it and we all start to get into a really negative mindset, which can spiral downwards. There's no need for that spiraling downwards. Everything in this reading is pointing to a really fruitful and positive outcome. Make it happen. Mars, Leo, Mars in Leo. Let's draw runes, additional runes. Okay, so your first rune is the rune of defense. Then you have the rune of possessions, nourishment, unexpected rewards, surprises, gains. You have the rune of fertility. You have the rune of journey, progressing, something progressing. You have the rune of joy, and you have the blank rune. Excellent. Okay, so the rune of defense. This is saying to me, for some of you, there are some boundary issues around a connection with someone. And it's those issues around the boundaries. Maybe somebody has stepped over their boundaries a little bit. Again, maybe they're taking a little bit more than their fair share in some way, shape or form. It's speaking in kind of 2 ways. One is connected to boundaries, in which case you just need to talk about your boundaries and it will be well received. Or with the rune of defense as well. I think aside from kind of boundaries, it's sort of also saying don't be defensive. It's really quite clear here. Don't be defensive, don't be fearful. Approach it with that real positivity, unexpected rewards, surprises, gains. I think the outcome will be better than you could possibly have expected. There's been a lot of worry about having this conversation, or worry and concern. We're just too different. We can never make this work, or our opinions are so, or our perspectives, our take, or the way that we approach this is so different. I can't see how this could possibly be. But like the example I gave at the beginning, actually it can be amazing if we celebrate those differences. Fertility, something does need to be addressed. Fertility sometimes requires completion of beginnings, but it's sort of saying, look, the ground is fertile here. So something does need to be voiced, and the timing is right, because if we don't voice it, we're not fertilizing the ground for our own deliverance. We're not nourishing, fertilizing this relationship, this connection with this person, whether it is a work situation, a colleague, a subordinate, a manager, a friend, a family member, a partner, you know, spouse, whoever that is. It needs to be, this is going to help everyone to flourish, and it will progress. We have the you know, this is the journey. Again, journeys, speaking here, progressions and journeys, such an affirmation of this. The rune of joy is fabulous, because it kind of, I feel like it's going to clear the air and lift you into a space where there's nothing bubbling under the surface. It's like the energy clears. There are no more hidden agendas, because everybody knows where they stand. There's no more fear around hidden agendas. The blank rune is like this space of possibility. It's both an ending and a new beginning. It's also a space of gestation, a space of huge potential. So this is really clear for you, for your guidance for right here and right now, and for the coming week, reading number 2. This is hugely positive in terms of the timing to move something forwards on a one-to-one with somebody, whoever that is. And really, this is going to open up a space of, literally a space of fertility, and you can honestly sit back at the end of this and think, do you know what, I was really worried about this. I was really concerned, and you'll probably look back at this and laugh about it and think, what was I worrying about? It was so easy in the end. It just flowed. It just happened. You know, luck is with you. The timing is perfect for this conversation. You're going to be celebrating. You know, this is really saying, go for it, do it. Success, celebration, and you know, it's leading to a longer term sense of abundance. And when I say abundance, I don't necessarily mean in a material sense. I mean abundance of strength of relationships, strength of connection, those fabulous relationships where we just value and appreciate people's different contributions to the point where it just flows. Everybody is doing what they're really good at because they're good at it and it works for them, rather than, you know, I know we sometimes in managing people look at their strengths and their weaknesses, and we think, how can we help them with their weaknesses? That's true. That's a really good way of supporting people. But actually, if you've got a really small team or a connection with someone, and one of you is better at one thing than the other, then, you know, why not support each other in doing the bits that you're really good at, rather than trying to, you know, pressure somebody to get good at something that they don't really enjoy. They can do the bit they enjoy and they're really amazing at it. You can do the bit you enjoy, and it's an even Stevens fair share of energy and distribution, and it's a win-win for everybody, and everyone is celebrated for their uniqueness. I mean, that's exactly what this reading is about, reading number 2. Super souls, if this is resonating with you, I post these readings every Sunday for weekly guidance, but they are timeless. So I put them into I have a timeless readings playlist. You can always access those readings at any time. There's a ton of others that are answering specific questions as well. So if you ever just want to touch base for guidance, they are a resource. They're there. I'm building that playlist all of the time. If you'd like to get notification of anything as I upload it, whether it's a manifest with the moon video where we're looking at exactly what's happening right here and right now with the moon influence as well, all of these things, if you subscribe, press the little bell icon, they should come into your stream. And thank you so much for joining me. This is a lovely kind of, it's a lovely reading, because it's kind of showing so much opportunity, but also a kind of, for you in a personal way, overcoming an anxiety about speaking something in a really open way, which is fabulous, because it's through those experiences that we get much more confident then about speaking our mind and speaking, you know, the truth really of the matter really, and discovering that it can be the best thing ever rather than something to be feared. Super Souls, thank you for joining me. Thank you those of you who give back through the super thanks in the comments. Thank you to all of you who are supporting my work on Patreon ongoing. I'll be uploading new tutorials for you guys soon, and also just thank you for your likes, shares, for subscribing. You know, you guys are amazing. This is a lovely community that we're building here on YouTube, and it's truly an honor, really is an honor to read for you all. I will put all links to everything that all the resources I put into the world, I'll put links to everything in the information box and comments. So if there's anything that might be helpful to you, I'll put it there. Just scroll down, have a look at what's there, and if it's useful, tap into it and use it. Super Souls, tons and tons of love. Welcome to reading number 3. You have been guided into this reading by the card of the horse, the rune of flow, and the tree of life. Very interesting energy, because horse is about, you know, certainly in native traditions as well, it's about power. If you think about it, we still measure the power of an engine in horsepower. You know, horses gave power to, you know, in allowing us to ride them, in being domesticated. They brought power to us as people. We have the tree of life, the rune of flow. Now this reading, we are asking your spirit team for guidance for you right here and right now, and for the coming week. So let's see how this is going to kind of impact. What do your spirit team wish you to know about right here and right now and in the coming week? What are we going to be shown for reading number 3? Just feel like something might be full speed ahead. That's what feels very strongly around you in this reading. Reading number 3. Those are your 2 cards. Woo, that's way too many. But goodness me, I do think we're going to take those 4. Okay, and I'm going to draw some tarot cards as well, and then we will have a look at absolutely everything for you. Okay, that's really showing itself already, and this one too. Right, let us dive into the cards. I'm going to move those tarot cards down, and we'll look at your oracles first. Okay, so you have 3rd house communication. You have Vesta, hearth. You have Aquarius, collaborate. This is really interesting. Moving something full speed ahead. You have Destiny, Yod, and Jupiter return, benefits. Wow, this is feeling like it literally is a power, the energy of power coming to you this week. Reading number 3. Rescue. Ghostlands. Into the unknown, and rock bottom. This is really interesting. I'm going to move these cards along. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to leave them there. My apologies for that debate with myself there. But actually, I'm going to leave them right there. The communication and rescue is really important. Okay. You have the ability this week to move something forwards. To take, it's like you lift somebody or something. You empower a situation, a somebody. I do feel there is an empowerment coming through you that is about something that's bigger than just you. And it's going to come right back at you. Jupiter return, it's going to return to you. The benefit will come back to you. This is really interesting. What your spirit team are showing us right here and right now and in the next 7 days, there is an opportunity here to collaborate, to support, I say rescue, be thoughtful here. But I think you have the ability to support somebody or pick somebody up from a rock bottom place, help someone in some way, shape or form. They're not able to see where they're going. Somebody will either reach out. It could be as simple, I say as simple as, and we'll draw more cards. We'll look at these first and then we'll see what else we're shown. But you basically have an opportunity this week to move something forwards in ways that help somebody else. What's really interesting is that you're being shown really clearly here that in giving something of yourself, you can communicate, you can invest, you can collaborate. Whatever you give to lift somebody else, it's going to come, the benefit, there's going to be a benefit. It's going to come right back at you. You won't necessarily have done it for that purpose. You know, it's not the right thing to help someone purely on the basis that, gosh, if I help them, they'll help me. But there's something about moving something forwards. I think you're probably, in fact, actually, I think for some of you, this part has already happened. You've already helped somebody. Yes, that's what we're being shown, because they don't generally ahead of time say to you, look, if you help someone else, it'll come back at you. Because actually we kind of know that, and it kind of would tilt the incentive, because actually we don't, it's not why we give to people, is it? You know, if you give for an ulterior motive, you've already helped someone and you didn't know you were helping them. That's what I'm seeing here. You literally, you gave to somebody, whether you gave something, like you bought a cup of coffee for somebody who was homeless, or you helped out with something. What's going to happen this week for you is something will come back to you, and you'll discover that something you did a while ago has benefited somebody else. It's helped someone, you empowered somebody. This is the week when something comes back to you. That's what we're being shown here. It's this destiny aspect. Something's going to be given back to you this week. Literally, somebody else is going to come into your world and they're going to say, do you know what? You have really, really helped me, and I'm now thriving. You don't know me, you didn't know me, I'm now really thriving. Do you remember that conversation that day that happened? And you know what, now I want to give back to you. There's something about this, a communication is going to come into you that will tell you how much you helped somebody, or how something you did. It may have just been a small random act of kindness, but actually it was life-changing for them. It empowered them. You gave them a role model, or you assisted them, and you did it purely without any need to know. This is showing us the past thing. That's really clear. What's happening this week is something's coming back to you because of what you did. Awesome. Reading number 3. May I just say how much I love you all for being who you are, because actually it's those random acts of kindness, those words, that make such a difference. Some really significant stories are coming to mind. In my library, I have for those of you who are new to me, I worked as a counsellor and psychotherapist for over 28 years. My calling is to put stuff into the world that actually is about helping people, actually, but it's about putting that knowledge into the world and bridging the gap between the counselling knowledge and of course our spiritual pathways. But in the library, in the conversation pages, there is actually shared a story with somebody called John Wilson, who runs an organisation called Online Events, which is it's a resource. It's a library of conversations about all kinds of aspects of counselling and psychotherapy. Really, really worth checking out that site, actually, if you're interested in learning through that kind of method of listening to people talk about what they do do and working in different ways. But he and I shared a conversation about somebody who had, it was that turning point, really random. It was somebody that I had worked with, who I have permission to share his story. He'd had a very, very an extremely challenging and very sudden bereavement of several members of his family. And it was this, he'd reached a point, something happened in his world that was a very challenging turning point. And he actually reached a point where he decided that he couldn't go on. And then completely randomly, he was all set to literally take his own life. And somebody knocked on his door, and it was a complete stranger, but somebody who lived in the village. This guy just knocked on his door and said, you know, look, you don't know me, mate, but I hear you're having a tough time. I'm just going down the pub. Do you fancy a pint? And so he took his coat and went. It was just a reaching out from somebody. That person never knew until much later, because they became very good friends. He never knew that literally he had saved that person's life in that moment. And I know that's quite a big story. You'll find it anyway with details in that part of my library. But you know, you've done something in the past that actually helped somebody. You had no idea it was going to make a difference. You just did it because you were you. And I really validate, honour and send you, just truly, if this is how more people live, the world would be so much better a place. This is the week it comes back to you. This is the week something is given back to you, whether it's just karmically, or it's, for some of you, it will just be some good karma that comes back to you. Literally, it's like, wow, you know, a communication that brings you something and it returns to you. It could just be a good karma that's coming back in some way, shape or form. For some of you, it will be directly related to a moment where literally somebody comes along, or there's a communication and you hear that something took place that changed somebody's life. They were able to grow from an experience because of something you gave them. So the reward will either be something genuinely big coming back into your world, or it will be that, wow, you know, just that seriously feel good, the realization that you genuinely made a difference. Okay, let's look at your tarot cards and see if we're given more information. So we have the Death card, beautiful energy, because this is the rebirth, the death and rebirth. It really does tune me into that story that I just told you. You made a difference. You created a turning point for someone. Yes, and now they want to give back to you. They're very conscious now. There's something of, there is, whether it's the universe or whether it is literally an individual. You rescued somebody, you helped. Now they want to help you. Okay. Oh, wow, look at this. We have the Four of Cups. We have the Magician. This is beautiful. We have the Seven of Swords. You just didn't know that what you did helped them out. You really didn't know. It was really, we have the Death card, the Tower. It was absolutely life-changing for this person. What you did really, really made a difference. This is the point where they have thought about it. Do you know, some of them may even have looked for you. They may even have literally been either following you, or for some of you, you are just putting stuff into the world, but they've looked for you. They've found you. They've thought about this. They've contemplated, they've considered, and now they are now in a position to give back. You didn't know anything about this. Truly, this is really, really something that you've been unaware of. It's like that, it is that random act of kindness. You really did make a difference. Like literally someone was at that point, a point of no return, and you brought life back to them. You changed them from the inside out. You literally did. You changed them from the inside out. This is lovely. I'm going to draw some more runes and some charms. I'd like more information about this, but I think the way in which you gave, yeah, the way it's coming back to you. It's this element of karma coming back to you. Literally. What is, I want more, I'm going to draw more cards around this, because I feel that there is, I'm curious as to how this is coming back to you. What are you going to be given? What opportunity is coming your way, reading number 3? Let's draw some runes first of all. Okay, so we have the rune of joy. First of all, you have the rune of harvest. Then you have the rune of protection. Then you have the rune of Hagalaz. Then you have the rune of the warrior, the spiritual warrior. You have the rune of joy and the rune of openings. Okay. The rune of harvest. It really does feel like, you know, we reap what we sow. You know, there's something here that's really coming back to you. I feel something quite transformative is just as I think you have transformed somebody else's world. Someone's going to bring something back in. What's really interesting is it's very transformative for you. The rune of harvest opens a new phase of life. It's a fruit-bearing rune, as is the rune of joy. So the rune of harvest is something that we need to, it's a bit like, the message is really clear. I was about to say, you know, if you've got the rune of harvest, it can speak of a cycle of a year. We have to sort of, if we're sowing seeds, if we want a crop, we have to till the ground, we have to sow the seeds, we have to nurture, water before we get to the harvest. For some of you, this is something you did or were investing in a year ago. It's like it's gone a full cycle before it's coming back to you. Now, I think it's quite big. It's quite like, just as it was life-changing, this is what's coming back to you now. The reward is actually life-changing. The rune of protection asks us to be, you know, not be bowled over by our emotions. And the rune of Hagalaz is, it brings about freedom and liberation, okay, from something. I mean, sometimes it is a rune of disruption. In this particular reading number 3, it literally is, I think it's quite life-changing what comes back to you. It's almost like someone gives you the resources, the sun here, things that have held you back. Maybe you've been financially held back and yet you gave your last penny to somebody, you know, a year ago, and now they're coming back in and they want to help you out. They're giving you resources. Suddenly your world is transforming. There's opportunity, liberation, freedom from something that was previously holding you back. It comes back to you. Benefits, return, Jupiter. I mean, this is a really powerful, positive card. Just as you were life transformative for somebody else in something you said, did, or gave. Now it comes back to you, whether it is karmically or from that person. Your spirit team are actually saying you'll need to make some decisions around this, because it's kind of like that resources coming in and it's like, wow, I actually have the resources to do more with my life now. What shall I do with this? You know, somebody's given something back. How will I use this? Clarity. Really, really, this is amazing. I mean, talk about the positivity of the return to you. It's incredible. The rune of joy and the rune of openings. These are, for me, the two most powerful runes in terms of clarity, knowing where you're going, the joy, the liberation, the new dawn, the new opportunity, the new direction. Whatever, it's almost as if something you have wanted to do, somebody just comes along and gives you the resources you need to do it. It's like, wow, you can now flow into being. You can build something that you've always wanted to build because suddenly it's come back to you. Reading number 3, whatever this is for you in the unique circumstances of your world, there is a return, and it is a return of benefit. Literally, whether it's someone coming along and you are so joyous because you realised, you know, the gratitude that's being poured back in your direction is just awesome. You feel and you realise how empowered you were without even realising it, and how empowered you made someone else feel. So whether it is energetically, which will elevate your vibration so much that stuff will just come to you anyway, because that's how the law of attraction really works. For some of you, it's real stuff, it's real money, it's real thanks being given in a real way. Look, you know, you've been trying to birth this into the world. We're right behind you. We're backing you up. And that could be karmically because of the way you have navigated and supported others. Or it could literally be, it could just literally be somebody finding you and sending you a communication. Do you remember me? You know, you may not remember me, you may not even know me, but do you know, you helped me out, and this is, I wish to give back to you because I am now in a position to do so. That is the flavour of your reading. Reading number 3, I really just feel this is beautiful. I am going to draw just a few more cards, just around the sort of, I mean, in a way the reading is clear, and it's a, you know, I post these readings every Sunday, so they are timeless. So whenever you tune into this, you know, these are in my timeless readings playlist, which is a resource. It's full of readings that answer specific questions, as well as right here, right now guidance and what's happening in the next 7 days. But I'm curious about this. In a way, the guidance is clear, but let's just draw from, I'm going to draw from another pack. Yeah, I'm going to draw from another tarot pack, just a couple of cards, just to sort of say, you know, could we be given just a little bit of teensy bit more information about this? Maybe that we don't need it, but I'm just very curious as to what is coming back to reading number 3, because it just feels like it's so deserved. Here we go, super good. Here we go, reading number 3. I didn't know I was going to use these cards today. Okay, so 7 of Wands. Wow, this is transformation. Oh, 5 of Hearts. Look at the treasure trove here. Wow. And the 5 of Wands. Okay. This is beautiful. Okay, so what I will say to you is it's absolutely gorgeous. If you have been going through a more challenging time recently, or there has been something in your world that you didn't think, you've begun to think it would never come true, okay, something you really desire, actually, on a karmic level, because of your giving nature and because of your giving nature and your ability to support, to love and offer support to others in such a generous way, you have lifted, for some of you, you've genuinely lifted many, many people without even realizing it, just by being kind, supportive, encouraging. This is the week when something is returned to you that lifts you out of that space. It's literally, it's something that comes back to you. For some of you, it will just be something that you almost had thought, well, I'm happy to support others, but you know, it'll never happen for me, but that's fine. As long as I'm giving to others, that's lovely. As long as it makes a difference, that's lovely. You're going to get a return. And what I'm seeing is it's actually quite significantly transformative for you. It's almost like, it really is, it's like, it's that day where you've, like maybe you dedicated yourself to raising your family, and suddenly someone comes along and says, look, here's a nest egg, you can now retire, you've worked solidly all your life, your children have flown the nest, and now it's time for someone to give back to you, or someone to come in. There's something coming into you. It could be someone an essence, an energy, renewed vitality, whatever it is, something comes back to you that lights the way of hope, and yeah, almost renewed hope as well. So if any of you have been struggling in any way, this is the day when the fact that you have really looked after others, the universe says, do you know what, we're going to give back to you today. Whether it's karmically or it comes directly from someone, we do have an indication that there is communication coming in. People filling up your cup. People rock up and say, do you know what, it's time we gave back to you. It really, really is. This is a week for you to receive. Okay? And yeah, this is a week for you to receive. That's the best thing I can say, reading number 3. And actually, the receiving of something is so transformative, because I think you are of such a generous nature. I think you so often think of others, you so often go the extra mile, you so often consider the well-being of others, sometimes really truly at the expense of yourself, but you do it without any expectation of reward. And this is the week when something is given back to you. Reading number 3, it is an honour to read for you. It really is. This is, and remember, allow yourself to receive. You know, sometimes it's, you know, not receiving, being a giver. Giving is sometimes being a giver can be a defense. It stops you from receiving, it stops you accepting from others, but it stops the vulnerability with, you know, around your own needs. So this is a week for you to receive. That's what your team are saying. If someone comes along and offers you something, you say thank you. You don't say, oh no, I'm fine. You say thank you, and you allow yourself to receive. And then it means they can have the feel-good factor of giving as well. Okay, so it's a win-win here. It really is. Reading number 3, this is just super delightful. It really, really is. And it's an honour to read for you. I can see how much you give, ongoing, without any desire for return. And I think you make a difference to people's lives without ever realizing it, just by being you, you know. So Super Souls, thank you, really, in a big way. This is a beautiful reading, and so right that this comes back to you. The benefits return, and that is your reading for right here and right now, and in the coming week. Open yourself to receive. Gratefully, gracefully. Yeah, open your heart, unlock that box, let yourself receive. Super Souls, I am sending you all the love in the world. Now, if you would like to get notification of any of my readings, this is a weekly reading, but I also post loads of spontaneous readings. And as I said, this is a timeless reading. You can tune in with these at any time you need guidance in the here and now, or indeed, if you've got specific questions you want to ask. Lots of my timeless readings also are about specific subjects. I will put the link to the Timeless Readings playlist in the information box and in the comments. I do put a ton of free stuff into the world, so I'll just put all the relevant links in the information, and you can scroll through it, and if there's anything that is important or helpful or relevant to you, you can access it through those different links. It's a joy to be here with you. I'm loving what you're doing. I'm loving the essence and the nature of you, and it is now time for you to receive this week, and I think that is so joyous. It's just delightful and gorgeous and lovely. So thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting the channel here, for this lovely community that we're building. Thank you for your liking, subscribing, sharing. Thank you to those of you who give back to me through the super thanks, and also to those who support all of the work that I do through Patreon. Your ongoing support is really appreciated. And I will be giving back to you with some further tutorials uploaded soon on Patreon. So thank you all so much. And thank you so much, reading number 3, for everything that you are doing in the world. Tons of love.